Hello, everyone. Welcome to Mrs. Rogers' Stamperhood. Here we are. It's another Friday night, and Crash and I are just hanging out in the stamp room, waiting to bring you something fun to do tonight. Let me adjust the lights so I can see you, you can see me. Make sure that you are. Oh, why is that? It said my sound was off, and it wasn't. Hi, Sheila. So say hello if you are logged into YouTube and are watching. And if you're not, hello anyway. But I would love to know, those of you who are logged in, where you're from. Chime in and say hello. And don't forget, whether you are logged in or not, well, you probably do have to be logged in. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up when you see something you like or hear something I say that you like. And like, subscribe, ring that notification bell so that you will know next time I go live and not miss anything fun. You don't want to miss this guy. Oop, he looks a little angry that I disturbed him. Sorry, Crash. Crash, be friendly. Say hello. There you go. There's a pretty good shot of him. Anyway, we are here with a 4-piece puzzle slider card. Actually, it wasn't a couple of weeks ago. It was last weekend. Last weekend, I think, I had a stamp camp featuring the Expressions of Kindness kit from the Kits collection. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous kit. Probably my most favorite to date. And we also featured the Thoughtful Journey Designer Series paper, and I used the Thoughtful Wishes bundle. And one of the projects that we did was a 6-piece puzzle slider card. So I had seen a 4-piece slider puzzle, and I'd seen an 8-piece slider puzzle, and I thought, well, the 4 pieces, those pieces are kind of big, and the 8-piece, I thought, well, those are kind of small. I mean, they were both nice projects, but I think the perfect mix would be something in between. So I'm like, oh, why don't I make a 6-piece one? So because I'm a math teacher and I like that kind of stuff and figured out, and it really wasn't hard for me, and it probably wouldn't be hard for you, I designed one that is a 6-piece. So it changed things a little bit, dimensions changed a bit, but I did it. And I will provide all of you with the general measurements for that at the end of my blog post that is going to be going along with this video. But let's go ahead and we can get started on the 4-piece just so you see the general idea of how it's done. And then you'll be able to apply that to the 6-piece and the 8-piece. So let me turn you down and we'll get started here. It's just going to take me a second to adjust my camera, I think. Oh, I got to put a weight down. It wants to fall over. There we go. All right. You see my mouse. We'll get my mouse out of the way. I don't know where we're going to put it, but we'll find a spot for it. And tonight we're going to be using the Flowering Zinnia Designer Series paper. I've used it before. In fact, I'm kind of running a little bit low on it, I think. You're going to need a couple of different designs, and I chose this one. I called it the Zinnia Stems because see all their stems are showing there. And then I think we're going to use this one as well. But I really do like this purple one. I think I'm going to stick with that. Whatever. And for a base, we're going to use Lemon Lime Twist. Not a color I use a lot. So let's do something different. Oh, I just hit the camera. So sorry about that. And let me show you that this is the 6-piece slider card that I was talking about, and it just opens like this. So you can see a little bit about, when it's open like that, but most people will just, pull it open and you'll see whatever's written inside. So in this case, I used a piece of Designer Series paper inside. We're not going to do that tonight. We're going to just decorate with Designer Series paper. All right, so the first thing we're going to need is a piece of cardstock to form our base. And we want that to be 9.5 by 4.5. So I'm going to open up my trimmer here. and find 9.5. And 4.5. So you can't get 2 of these from one piece of cardstock. Now you probably could alter the dimensions a little bit. Yeah, a little bit, but I don't think you want to do that. Hold on, I'm just thinking of something. It shouldn't be 4.5. It should be 4.25. It should be 4.25. What am I doing? So you could get 2 pieces out of it if you weren't kind of messing around like I am. So 9.5 by 4.25. I will have these measurements on my blog afterwards, and I will link that into the description below on this video. And now you're going to score at 1. I like to use my scoreboard too, but I have this handy. I'm just going to use this. So at 1 inch, 2 inches, and then 1 and 2 inches from the other end, which would be at 7.5 and 8.5. Okay, so that's our scoring. We will need to have this extra cardstock handy because we're going to be cutting some other pieces. But let me turn my attention to forming the base of this first. So we have 2 score lines here and 2 score lines there. On the innermost score line, we're going to fold in. And we're going to do that on both sides. And then we're going to fold back on that other one. So here's the basic mechanism. All right, now we need our lemon lime twist again, and we're going to cut 2 pieces that measure 2 1/8 by 2 1/4. So I'm going to go 2 1/8. Yeah, 2 1/8 by 2 1/4. Oh, and I don't have enough. I should have cut it in the bigger dimension. Oh well, we'll just cut another one. 2 1/8 by 2 1/4. All right. And then we need 2 pieces that are 2 1/8 by 3 1/4. So I don't know if I'm gonna, so let me do 3 1/4, 3 1/4, by 2 1/8. I need 2 of these, 2 1/8. 2 1/8. These look so big to me because they're so much bigger than the ones that I had done for my other project. Okay, so I have this, and I am going to arrange it like this as well. So you want the other pieces to be, just make sure they're the same size. They are, see? Same size, okay? You want them to be diagonal from each other. So what's going to happen is it will basically look like this on your card. All right, so we're going to bring in our card base here. Move this out of the way a little bit. This upper right one, I'm just going to apply some glue to this whole piece, and my glue is stuck. I think it means I need to change the cap in my glue stand. All right, and we're going to just apply glue all the way down here. And this shorter piece, I'm going to apply right up here in the corner. I want to match it so that this whole top is straight across with the top of here, and this edge is right up against the edge as well. And then this other longer one is going to come down right below it. This is such a super simple card to make. And again, I want to make sure that this down here is all lined up. So the entire bottom edge should line up with the entire bottom edge of the card base. All right, so there we have that. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Just going to apply glue all over this. And if you don't want to use glue, you can use any other kind of adhesive. I do like the glue. It gives me some wiggle time. Now remember, I had the short one on the top here. So on this side, I'm going to have the other one. I'm going to have the long one up here. And again, you want to make sure that the edge is completely against the edge there. And same thing here. Really take the time to make that nice and straight. And then we're going to do the remaining one. Comes right down here. So when it's closed, oops. So when it's closed, you have this. Now, you may find that because of the way you cut it, these see how this kind of, the edge is kind of caught, but they'll just lay like that over one another. It's not a big deal. But this is the basic mechanism that we have. And now we need to decorate. So I'm going to bring in this piece of paper here, and I want to incorporate this white if I can, which of course I can because I'm making it, right? So we need a piece of designer series paper in landscape form because that's our card is landscape. It goes this way. We want it to be 5 by 3 3/4. So I need 5 inches. Going this way. And I need it to be 3 3/4. So I'm going to cut right from here. This was just this layer cut in half. So it started as a 12 by 12 sheet. I think I've probably used that design. I've used both sheets of that design, so I can't show you. But there was this, and then there was this on the other side. I just cut down the middle to 2 6 by 6 pieces. So 6 by 12 pieces. And then I'm cutting one of those down here. So this is what I have. Now this piece, I need to cut down a little bit further because I'm going to be putting it on these 4 pieces. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut on the short side. So we're going to cut in half horizontally at 1 7/8 because 1 7/8 is half of 3 3/4. Now, it's important to keep your orientation. Now you can kind of figure it out on this one, and honestly, you can figure it out on all of them, but the more pieces that you have, so like with the 8-piece puzzle slider, the more easily it is to get a little mixed up. So you want to keep things in order if you can help it. So if I were to just kind of slide these together, that's the piece I started with, right? So this top piece, we're going to cut at 3 inches. Now, when I cut it at 3 inches, that gives me 3 inches from the right side, which makes, because it's 5 inches long, it makes 2 over here and 3 over here, which is what I want for the top piece, because I want 2 here and 3 there. This one's smaller, this one's longer. Right? So what we're going to get is something that looks like that. And then on the bottom one, we're going to cut it at 2 inches. It's 2 inches from the right edge. So now we have that. And now before we get anything else mixed up, let's go ahead and adhere our pieces. Some patterns will be easier to figure out than others. You don't have to use something with a specific design. I mean, this has a specific design, but you could just use a pretty pattern paper and it would look nice as well. All right, so tell me, what did you do this week to beat the heat? Because it was hot here in southern Maine. It was 100, well, more than that with the heat index, but it did hit 100 yesterday, I believe. That's what one of my friends wrote on Facebook. I was inside in the air conditioning, so I couldn't really tell you. I do know it was hot out though. And I do know that those AC units gotta work out. I'm super thankful for AC units. Super, super thankful. Now, one accommodation or thing that you could do differently here is you could make it so that these pieces were bigger, so that there was less border around them. That's definitely preference. You would just have to do the math in order to make that work. So you'd probably have to make this to be like 2 inches by 2 and 2 and an eighth, something like that. Sorry, I didn't do the math ahead of time. I just happened to think that you could do it that way. Maybe someday I'll do it again with a smaller border. I kind of like seeing this bright cherry green. But your eye tends to put the pattern together anyways. It can see that these flowers are really meant to be a continuation of one another. And this purple flower and this pinkish flower. So your eye puts it together. And so it's just like when you're putting together a puzzle, you don't really notice the little shape and designs after a while. You just see the picture itself. So there is our basic thing. We will decorate that in just a second, but I want to bring in the other designer series paper. So you will need another piece that measures 1 by 5 1/4. Or actually you just need 2 pieces that are 1/2 inch by 5 1/4. I'm going to cut this down to 1 by 5 1/4. So to start with, I had this, and I'm just going to cut that into 2 equal strips. So I've got 2 1/2 inch by 5 1/4 inch pieces. And then I need a piece of basic white that's going to be 5 1/4. And I know I'm cutting kind of off camera, but I think you get the idea. 5 1/4 by 4 inches. It's a typical inside layer. We're going to just line the top of this and the bottom of this. I'm not even worried about which one was quote unquote supposed to go on the top, because our eye is not going to try to put those flowers together that we cut apart here. So there we go. There's that. And here's another one. Okay, there we go. And then we're just going to adhere that to the inside. See how simple this is? It really is very, very simple. It looks a little bit more complex than it is. Now, one of the hard things is to put it in, but it's not hard if you open it all the way up. And you're just going to put this right in here. Use your score marks and edges to get things centered. And there we go. There's our inside. So when it's closed, it looks like this. When it's opened, it reveals a message inside. And so we do need to put a message on here. Now, you can overlap these sections. You have to be careful if you let things overlap here, because when you close it, it's gonna, if you have something overlapping the top, let me just pull something in. Like if this is overlapping, it just is gonna have to stick up over the top of this one. It's not a big deal. You just have to be aware of that. Now you could stamp a zinnia if you had the coordinating set and die cut it and stuff, but I think there's already a lot of stuff going on here. So what I think I'm gonna do is bring in some of my dies. Let's see, I love my Stylish Shapes dies, but, oh, you know what? Let's go ahead and use my Spotlight on Nature dies that look like they have nothing to do with nature, but everything to do with spotlights. So my spotlight on nature dies. Remember I had all of these, and so I just need to pick a particular pattern. I probably don't want to pick one that's too busy. Let me go ahead and see what this one does. I think it's just going to put something kind of pretty in there. Now, what do you, that one might even be too big. I mean, it's okay to overlap, but I think it's a little too big. So we're going to have to try something smaller. All right, fine, be that way. Let's see. Let's use this one. Yeah, that's a good size right there. And tell me in the comments, hi Anna Luz. Tell me in the comments, you know what, this one's a little too small for me. I'm gonna have to come in and use this one, I think. Oh, they're the same size. All right. Fine, we'll use this one. And I'll just put it right here, I think, in this whole circle, in this whole spot. That'll be a good spot, I think. We'll see. If I don't like it, you know what? We do something else. So tell me in the comments, should I use petal pink for the background or should I use basic white? I'm going to be stamping on it, so I want it to be a light color. So go ahead and comment and I will pick whatever color you'd like. I'm going to get my die cutting machine out here while I'm waiting for you. Somebody's got to say either PP for petal pink or BW for basic white. The Spotlight on Nature bundle, by the way, just came back into stock. I don't know how long it will last. Apparently Stampin' Up! Has been air shipping. All right, I hear white first, so that's what I'm going to go with. Has been getting things flown instead of, the slow boat from China or wherever it's coming from, in order to keep up or to kind of get some things back in stock while it is on the bundle sale. So that's costing us some extra, and some of the back order in the bundles has to deal with the fact that there are all of a sudden quite a few. I've lost my die. Hold on. Where is it? I should stop talking while I look for it. There it is. Close to My Heart has closed up shop, and many of their makers, which is what they call their demonstrators, have joined Stampin' Up. And so there's been this influx of new demonstrators who are building some supplies, stamping supplies, and have been ordering things. And so they didn't really account for that kind of increase when determining what to have on hand. It's always a balance in manufacturing. You don't want to have too much in stock in case, it doesn't move the way you think it will. You don't want to be stuck with a whole lot of extra inventory, but you also don't want to be stuck short. So it's really quite a balance. I mean, and this is not just unique to Stampin' Up. It's unique to every manufacturing industry. So anyways, all that to say is Stampin' Up! Has done their best to get things back in stock. And if you want to get a bundle and save an extra 10%, now is the time to do it. There is a link in the description of this video that will take you to my online store, and you can get to the bundles that way. I'm going to go ahead and use Spotlight on Nature. Let's see if this thanks fits. Yeah, that kind of fits. Let's see if we can make it work. I could have stamped first and then die cut, but hey, let's live on the edge. Let's go ahead and get Melon Mambo because that's one of the colors that's in our paper. And there's my thanks. We're going to decorate that a little bit. Let's see, I've got some embellishments here. These are fun. They go with the zinnia paper. They are the adhesive backed shiny sequins. So we're going to put some of them on here as well, because who doesn't like a little razzle dazzle? So I've been mentioning the bundle sale. Currently, or outside of the June special, Stamp and Die bundles are already a 10% savings over what you would pay if you purchase the stamps and the dies separately. But during the month of June 2024, you save an extra 10%. You're saving 20%, and apparently they did do the math, so it's not 10% over the already 10% savings, which is really only 19%. Hello, Math Geek. Math Geek here. Where do I want this? See, I can't talk and do this at the same time. So I can't, I've already got my dimensionals on there, so I can't really do this unless I make sure that no sticky hangs over, which it does. So I'm not going to do that. Let's go ahead and just put this down here, shall we? So you're going to save 20% on a bundle. So you can get some really great bundles for not as much money. You probably save at least $5 a bundle. So let's put some sparkles all around, and I'm going to put a bunch of different colored sparkles around because it goes with all of these. Let's see, where do I want to put it? Oh, how about in the middle of a flower somewhere? Oh yeah, that's nice. Let's put some green in here. And it's funny because it looks like there's 4 colors, but there's really some variation in each one of them. Some of them have a little more yellow, some of them have a little bit more green, and they're really fun. All right, I'm even gonna put it on the edge here of my circle. And you know what? I'm gonna go crazy and do more than 3, which means, how many am I doing, everybody? I am not doing 4, because that would be wrong, right? We want to do an odd number. We want to do 5. So maybe I'll come up here too. I don't know. There's lots of sparkle going on. I mean, that's probably way too far out there. Let's go ahead and bring it down a little bit. Just like that. Oh, you know what would be fun too? How about some butterflies? Let's go crazy. We haven't done much on this thing. It's been a pretty simple card, right? I should really unpack my take your pick tool. All right, so let's put a butterfly there, and let's put a smaller one here. All right, do we want another one? Why not? Should have an odd number, right? Now you could have done 4 sequins and 3 butterflies, and that's still an odd number. So I've got an odd number right now, so because I've got 5 sequins and 2 butterflies, so we're good, and a circle. So there is our card. I'm not going to stamp anything on the inside, only because it's a thank you card, which I never seem to have enough of. And so I will just leave that and write my note in there. And I'll probably decorate the envelope with some paper and call it a day. So I'll just put this on the back flap of an envelope and we'll be good to go. But that is a 4-piece puzzle card. And let me just show you for comparison. This was the 6-piece. I don't have an example of the other one, the 8-piece. I might do that next week. But you can see for this one, I used a large die cut from the Thoughtful Wishes bundle. And this word comes from the Thoughtful Wishes stamp set. And this circle is from the Stylish Shapes. But fun, easy card. Looks harder than it is to make. But I hope you've enjoyed it. Now, remember, all of the current bundles are on special, whether they are in the catalog or in the online exclusives. I will say that there are I'm going to be doing a Super Saturday on July 13th. And in my Super Saturday class, one of the bundles that I will be using is the Seaside Wishes bundle. So it's sand dollars and starfish. Love, love, love this set. I've already made a card with it, which is probably around here somewhere. But I hadn't really planned about talking about this tonight. So we're going to be doing 4 cards. You'll get a half a package of the Country Woods Designer Series paper. I do have that here. Let me show you. So the Country Woods is just a lot of wood grain, and I particularly love, I mean, look at, it's all very beachy looking, right? So it makes sense to kind of coordinate it. I love this one. I have some beach decor in my house that reminds me of this. So it's just a lot of wood grains, and so you'll get half a package of this, and then you will get a package of gold foil gems, which I do have those around here somewhere because I just got the shipment in. So I had seen that the Country Woods Designer Series paper was on low inventory. So I'm like, well, I've got a class coming up. I'm going to at least order enough for 8 people to attend the class. The class is already half full at 4. So if you are interested in this class, these are the gold foil gems, or iridescent foil gems, sorry, but they're kind of a gold look. So if you are interested in this class on July 13th, then you want to sign up for that sooner rather than later. The paper is due back in on July 1st, but because of the holiday, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it in on time or not. I will expedite if I need to, if there's enough interest. But what I can guarantee is 4 more people to grab a spot. The other class that I'm doing, and I kind of put it away, I think. Let me go grab it, is something you haven't seen yet. And it is called Iconic Imagery, or Iconic Celebrations. And so this, while I have an example of a Christmas card somewhere, and I'll post that a little bit later. I think I posted it earlier, actually, about my Super Saturday class on my Facebook page. This has not just Christmassy kind of stuff in it, but it's got Valentine's and New Year's and fall. Here's some pumpkins and snowflakes and candles and sparkles for like either birthday or New Year's. You could use it for 4th of July. Leaves for fall. So there's all sorts of celebrations that can be incorporated with this. And this is a bundle as well. So you can't get this, however, in the bundle sale because it's not available to customers yet. It's only available to demonstrators right now. Demonstrators always get a 1-month lead on everybody else. But this is the second class that I'll be doing. So we'll be doing 4 cards, and participants will get a half a package of this and a half a package of, I think, some other gems, but it might be ribbon. I've forgotten already. I can't remember. So you can sign up for that as well. You can do 1 class on that Super Saturday or 2 classes. I'm going to turn around and, hey, it's me. I'm back. And Crash is back too, but I got to adjust my camera. So the, and it's going to fall. Let's see. So we're going to have those 2 Super Saturday classes. Sorry, it keeps falling. Oops. Let's try to, I'll just hold it. How about that? So in between the 2 Super Saturday classes, I'm going to have my annual BOGO event. So it has been about a year since I've done my BOGO event again. And so what a BOGO is I'm going to have my retired sets and dies and some paper out, and it will be priced at its catalog value. They are, in most cases, used, some cases not used. but they are in good shape. But for every dollar that you spend from the current catalog or the online store, you get to select that amount of retired merchandise for free. So it's like double the value. So it's a great time. Everybody loves the BOGO event, but that will be on Super Saturday as well. The people that are attending in person will get first chance. That's the early bird kind of arrival date for BOGO. And then I will be posting online everything else that is available after that. So I hope you will join me on July 13th for a class, my BOGO event, or both classes and the BOGO event. Anna Luz wants to know how she can get a catalog. Well, I can send you one. That's no problem. I had a catalog launch that where you could have picked it up, but I don't think you were able to attend that day. But I did put out a call to see who wanted a catalog. So I will happily send anybody who wants a catalog one. Just let me know and I will send you one. Now, if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd like to think I'm Anna Luz's demonstrator. But if you don't have one and you don't have a catalog, just email me and let me know and I will send you one. But of course, if you do have your own Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, go to her. I'm not here to steal anybody's customers. I just want to share my love of paper crafting with everyone. And happy to make your Stampin' Dreams come true with a catalog. So I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. It's so nice that the heat has broken and it looks like we're in for, some good temperatures for at least the next week. But enjoy your weekend, everybody, and I will see you soon.